Okay, and the guitars that you see here, yeah, the first two guitars you see here are Fender Esquires, factory made with two pickups. Well, I thought that was the broadcast. I thought it was the two pickup guitar. Well, you're right. The problem was that sometime back in the day, when you went to Fender sales, which was right next to the Fender factory, if you wanted a broadcaster, they didn't have one ready for you. You couldn't just go in and buy it. It wasn't a store. You went in, and if they were lucky, they had a guitar for you. If not, they would usually put one together on the spot. And so they basically didn't have any broadcaster necks with a broadcaster decal, so they grabbed an Esquire neck, which had an Esquire decal, and they made them for you. Now, the guitar on the left, oh, I should say they made 8 such guitars. We have 6 of them. The one on the left is the very first sunburst finished Fender guitar. You can see how rough it is. You can see how unpolished it is compared to the later sunbursts. The one to the right of it, that Fender Esquire, 2 pickups, has never really been handled much by human hand. It was white gloved its entire life. It was bought new, put away, and it really has no wear and tear marks of any kind. Pretty amazing. The third guitar here is the very first custom colored instrument Fender ever produced. It's a no-caster. We'll talk about they put the decal in a no-caster. This particular color was called Olympic White, still made to this day, believe it or not, but this particular guitar was made for a famous black artist named Nat King Cole. And Nat's guitar player was Oscar Moore, and they made it for Oscar. Now, Nat King Cole, if you don't know, was a black crooner in a white man's world, and was literally the very first guy who had a TV show, first black artist that had a TV show, and being literally invited into the homes of white people who watched TV, and for some strange reason, white people loved him. He was a great guy, he was a gentleman, he always dressed very well. Anyway, Oscar Moore's guitar. This guitar here is a 1954 first-year Fender Stratocaster in an unusual color called Desert Sand. It's unusual because Desert Sand is the undercoat or primer for any other custom color guitar. Now, why was this guitar left in its primer and never painted? Well, it was left that way on purpose because there's clear painted over the Desert Sand, so my only imagination is Earl Findley, who was a guitar player for a country western band called Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys, famous Orange Circuit country band, was probably playing this guitar on TV, and again, felt that the color, the original sunburst color, would not display well against his tuxedo or suit. Another Texas country western guy named Jimmy Bryant owned this 55 Stratocaster, but it was not his original guitar. He fabricated the gold pickguard, and you can see how hastily made it was, but he preferred the knurled knobs of Fender Telecaster, and he did not like the 3-way sliding blade switch, so he replaced it with a switch that had a chicken head knob. This shell pink Esquire and its matching shell pink Stratocaster were owned by the godmother of rockabilly, Wanda Jackson. Okay, she's still banging around and still playing it, 86 or 87 years old. I watched her a couple of years ago on the Tonight Show, and she blew me away playing with Jack White, of all people. Okay, pretty cool. A couple of guitars are in here because they just have unbelievable colors. This Tahoe turquoise, which is a very early Buick color. Okay, so in 1955, you could order your Buick in Tahoe turquoise. The following year, you could order your Stratocaster in Tahoe turquoise. Biscay green, they made 3. There's one here, there's one right over Randy's head, and there is another one out in that showcase over there. These two are 2 serial numbers apart. Pretty incredible. Aztec Gold with gold hardware was the ultimate gentleman's guitar because gold showed wealth. Okay, so everybody wanted something gold. They made very few of them. It's a Cadillac color. Okay, it's a 1949 Cadillac color. Now, just think, paint technology back then was horrible, and to produce anything gold colored required the use of real gold. So, it's a pretty special guitar. It's probably worth close to $500,000 now. We have 3 of them. This guitar here was made for an unknown country artist in Walnut. It's a Telecaster. It's a 1955. We have 2 of them. They're a serial number apart from each other, and they were both made for this guy named Gilly. There's little pictures of him there. Don't know much about him. Couldn't find any history on him. This one is the one he chose to play. The other one is new in the case, and it's still wrapped in its original wax paper. Why? Did he just like the way this one played? This Esquire is San Marino blue. It's an old Buick color. We talked about surf green, and we talked about its rarity when I showed you on a Jaguar. Now, why would surf green be such a rare color? All right, make it easy. You're 19 years old, you go into the music store with your dad, okay, and you want to buy a guitar. And do you really want a baby blanket green guitar if you're a 19-year-old boy? I don't think so. So they've sold a few, and they probably sold them to female artists. No offense, ladies, but colors like pink and green are popular with boys. This Telecaster is very special made with a matching headstock, and the whole back of the neck is also painted blue. That's San Marino blue. And just going around several of the guitars, because I'm not going to keep you here all day, I know I have, but this particular guitar here, Desert Sand, with a solid rosewood neck. The only one of its kind, made for a guitar player named Eddie Cletro, who was a one-hit wonder, who had a famous song, very politically incorrect by today's standards, called Smoke, Smoke, Smoke That Cigarette. This 1954 Stratocaster was made by the Fender employees for the grandfather of Stratocaster, George Fullerton. This particular guitar is one of a kind. George was a big guy, and they moved the knobs over to accommodate his very giant hands. Okay, it has a matching headstock. It's never been played because George felt it was a gift and it was too pretty to destroy. So it's brand new. Other guitars in here feature the prototype for the Fender Jazzmaster. It's the only one ever made with a maple neck. Has a black aluminum pickguard that's been worn through and was used as a test mule to perfect the guitar in the factory. Skipping a little bit, this mahogany guitar was made, this Telecaster was made to compete with Gibson's mahogany Les Paul model guitars. After printing the catalog and putting this particular guitar on the cover of the 1963 catalog, it was determined that it would not be a cost-efficient move for them to produce the guitar mahogany. None were ever made. That is it. We talked about the Biscay. This is the second made custom color ever, commonly known as the Coppercaster, okay, because it is copper. We talked about the fact that custom colors were, this was a Stratocaster color used on a Telecaster, and I just love that. This purple sparkle guitar with the silver sparkle around the edge was made for Sister Gail, the guitar player from Sly and Family Stone. This story here is pretty cool, and this story is 2 sisters, Ethel and Bertha, who played with a little-known country band called the Tweedledees. Now, the Tweedledees in 1958 never made it, but the interesting thing is that Bertha was a heavy-set person, okay, where Esther was a thin person. She was the left-handed player. The interesting thing about this guitar is that it was made with Stratocaster contours, where all Telecasters are square. So this was made to accommodate A, her girth, B, her boob, excuse my French, okay, but you obviously can see it's also extremely lightweight. You're talking about a guitar that is probably somewhere in the 4.5 to 5 pound range, as opposed to a 7 and 7.5 pound range guitar. Just trimming off that extra wood. It's one of a kind. It's an amazing find. We were very fortunate to get it. It took a 3-year negotiation with the family to buy both guitars. It's not going to fall. It just looks like it's going to fall. Okay. If you go to the bottom, there's lots of different guitars, and I'll skip to the ones that are really more important. The left-handed ES335. Not a lot of left-handed guitars made back then, because when I was in school, when I was a kid, they tried to force me to write with my right hand, but I'm left-handed. However, I play guitar righty. Go figure. Different interesting colors. Also, if you look at this guitar, J.S. Peterson was an Alabama blues player who actually used it out there. And that guitar, he had his coat of arms, his family's coat of arms, put on the headstock. In order to do this, they needed to use a different neck, so they used one off a Super 400 with a much larger, longer headstock. These are different custom color Gibsons at the time. A gold top from 1958 with a dark mahogany back. A Les Paul custom of this era, 59, with only 2 pickups instead of 3. So we just wanted it different. 3 other people did too. There are 4. A Les Paul custom in new body design with the old coloration, black. This guitar I have to take out because it's just such a weird thing. It's another Telecaster, and it was made in 1968. I'm going to lay up here. See all of this, these flowers? Right? You see them on the front, you see them on the back. Can everybody see that? Okay? It's like somebody just took a bunch of stickers and peeled them off the guitar, right? And that's what was left behind. Well, that's not what it is at all. If you use a black light, and you put it on here, all these flowers glow in bright green and orange and pink because they were trying to cash in on the flower power thing. So it's all day glow paint, painted underneath, and then the clear paint painted on top. They only made a couple of them. They were made as promotional guitars. We're fortunate to have one. It doesn't happen often that you get to own something like this. In the near future, we will have a black light in the case where we can just flip a switch and blow your head off. Because I was pretty blown away the first time I saw one of these things, and I've been doing this a long time. Gibson Les Pauls we talked about earlier, and the reason why there's so many out here is because you just don't see that many of them in your life. And like I said, we have 35 of them. It's pretty cool. The Gibson Explorer, they made 19 of these, and these are made out of wood called African limbo wood or carina. Well, they were very futuristic looking for 1958. They came with a sister guitar called the Flying V, pretty self-explanatory, and also made out of African limbo wood or carina. The problem is that they bought a ton of these guitars, a ton of this wood, because they felt that this guitar would be a huge success. The problem is all of a sudden, they were making these guitars and employees were getting very sick. They couldn't really understand what was going on. They found that the sawdust from the cutting was carcinogenic. And employees were getting lung cancer. So they stopped production, and the former president of Gibson, Ted McCarty, who I met him and we had a long talk about these guitars. Ted actually was the person who authorized the idea of making these guitars. Ted had to buy all the leftover wood from Gibson. They were so angry with him, he bought all the leftover wood. And then he proceeded to build his kitchen cabinets out of it. True story. One of the most special guitars you'll ever see in your life. You saw up front a rosewood Telecaster made for George Harrison. Well, they made 75 of those guitars, okay? They made a couple for George, and then the rest of the guitars were sold to the public. And they actually made it from 68 to 71. And then they decided, well, they gave George this beautiful rosewood guitar, and they wanted to make a rosewood Stratocaster for the most famous Stratocaster player in the world. Who do you think might be the most famous Stratocaster player in the world? Anybody? Nobody? Who? Jimi Hendrix. So, they started making this guitar. Actually, a guy that I knew pretty well until he passed away, named Philip Kubicki, who was their master builder, started working on this guitar in late 1968 to give to Jimi Hendrix. Guitars like this take time. Jimi Hendrix died before the guitar was given to him. Okay? But there was a nice little letter from Fender saying, hey, it is what it is. And I think that's pretty cool. So it was a solid rosewood, very heavy guitar. But one of the coolest things I've ever seen. In an effort to make a Les Paul custom lighter than the average 11 pounds, they did come out with a lightweight one, actually a prototype. This is it, where they hollowed out the back and they put the back on last, and it weighs about half of what a Les Paul weighs. Other guitars in here include other custom colors and prototype ES335 with no binding on the neck. Songbirds, the one with the blonde were natural, so on and so forth, right down to the white one on the end. The guitars on the top include a new version of the Flying V, not made out of Carina, but mahogany. Okay, that guitar I bought from my friend Eric Johnson, who's a pretty major guitar player. If you don't know him, you should take the time to listen. He has won a Grammy or two. One day, I'll figure out who it is. Okay. The guitar here on the top is a Les Paul Jr. electric banjo. It was custom made for someone. God knows, I don't think they'd ever do it twice, but it is a pretty cool piece. I've never seen anything like it, but it actually sounds pretty good. If you step to this side, you'll see inside these drawers are some pretty cool guitars. This is the first custom colored Fender Stratocaster ever made. It was made for a country legend, Jimmy Bryant, and again, Telecaster knobs, just like this other piece up there. This is the prototype for the Stratocaster. It was made in January of '54. The guitar's production did not start until May of '54, and the body on this is made of spruce. We commonly do that as test woods to determine which was better. So this is actually a solid spruce. You can see the grain just like an acoustic guitar, and there's many different parts of this guitar that are very different on the inside. The potentiometers that host the knobs are large from a TV. They're giant, so they had to make a very giant round to cover it. Pretty cool piece. Comes with a really cool letter, and the letter from the original owner states that he saw a salesman's demo at a store in Dallas, and he found out that the guitar wouldn't be available until May, so he begged and he pleaded and finally offered $400 for a guitar that was $230 brand new, and bought the salesman's sample. I'd like to see how the salesman explained that to Mr. Fender. Another gold Stratocaster with gold parts. We talked about this before, in a San Marino blue, and the only reason they're in there is because they're impossibly rare guitars to find. But nothing so incredibly, well, in this place, not incredibly special. The two guitars on the top were never made for production. The first is a hollow Telecaster with a spruce top and rosewood back and sides. Okay, it's fully hollow, weighs 2.5 pounds. When you think about how my sciatica never would have gotten bad if I had bought one of these, but they were never made for sale. The Stratocaster next to it is the only hollow body Stratocaster ever made, and you'll notice the color and the way that the grain shows up is kind of wild. And the reason why I say that is because it's made out of a wood called wildwood, which is a human fabricated wood. Basically what they would do is they would choose trees that they knew produced nice or different grains, and they would inject the roots with a dye. The dye would travel up, eventually get into it, and they would eventually cut the wood and make the guitar. This is a wildwood, and it's based on a rosewood pattern, okay, but actually the name of the wood is called Babinga. Okay, pretty interesting, and it has block inlays, and it's very one of a kind, and they never made anything like it again. In here are the Vice President of Fender's personal guitars. This is Bill Carson. Bill Carson was a giant-handed man, okay, who played the tiniest little necks ever. And the reason why is because a lot of guitar players, when they play, they may reach over the top of the neck and use their thumb to play the E, low E string, or even the A string. Well, Bill was a very versatile man. He could not only play with his 4 fingers, but he could use his 5th finger to solo with. So he used what's called an A neck, which is the thinnest neck. This is the 3rd painted headstock Fender Stratocaster Masters, that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so it's a teeny little neck. So if you play it like this, you could literally wrap your, I don't have giant hands, so I can wrap around this thing very easily.
What is the width of the knot?
What's that?
What is the width of the knot?
It's 1 3/8 as opposed to like 1 7/8 or 1 5/8. This rosewood Telecaster isn't actually rosewood at all, except for the neck. Bill did not care for the weight, so he did have them make one of ash and just stain it dark, so it would look like rosewood. But when you go to the boss, guitars again, they're both pretty ugly. The third one is the first, or the third, excuse me, this one here is the third custom color guitar Fender ever made. It is Aztec Gold on a Telecaster, but the really cool story is in this ugly red guitar. This guitar is commonly known as Piney, because it was made out of pine, and it is the prototype for the Fender Broadcaster. It was in the Fender Museum for many years. We're lucky to have it. Its serial number is 0009. It contains lap steel pickups. There is no metal truss rod to straighten the neck. The decal is off of Fender lap steel, as are the knobs. Okay, it's been repainted as a test mule in Fender many times. It ended up this color, don't know why. But I can tell you that it is one of the most photographed guitars in the world and has been pretty much listed or referenced in any history book about Fender guitars. So this guitar was actually made in '49. Okay, the guitar debuted in '50. So it's pretty cool. And it weighs nothing. It's again, just a test.
Very cool.
Dunson.
Two more cases, and you're on your way. Thomas said, don't give him a big tour. A guitar made for the trade show in 1969, Music Messe in Germany, in Frankfurt, which is the equivalent of the NAMM show here in the United States, which debuts all the new musical instruments that were available. And this was just a show-stopping guitar that is currently known throughout the guitar industry as the Bikini. We don't know why. A leftover Telecaster neck was, rosewood Telecaster neck was used on this body made by Phil Kubicki, who worked for Fender, who was just the guy who made that rosewood Stratocaster and the rosewood Telecaster, and he combined all the pieces of wood that he basically found laying around the Fender shop. They call it the stringer because it just looks like strings of wood, and it is. It's ash, alder, mahogany, maple, rosewood. It's whatever they had, and it was a pretty cool piece. In this drawer here, one of the oddest pieces I've ever seen is an employee-made guitar, because they used to do that when the boss wasn't looking. So this is an EB2D bass body with a tenor neck, so a 4-string tenor neck on a big bass body. But what I love is the ingenuity to make special pickup covers with only 4 cut-out pole pieces and to cut down the bridge and actually hold it back together. I mean, it's just, you know, it took somebody a very long time to make this, and we don't know why. Why would you want this? I don't know, but it's so cool. The 355 in here is the exact same one that, believe it or not, I've seen 2 in these lives in my life. The other one I sold to Keith Richards, and this one here is a Polaris white, okay, but has black binding instead of white. So in the business, they call that a tuxedo guitar. Pretty neat. Underneath, just to show the transition in '58 from the gold top to the sunburst. This one is faded to what they call a lemon burst color. And what's really neat about this guitar is if you look carefully around the controls on the pickguard, you can see the original color of red. On the sunburst, they call that a tan line. It's pretty cool.
Is that a big problem with them fading?
Yeah, if you leave a UV light, if you left them, you know, sitting in a store window for many years, that was a problem. Or if you just left them hanging in a store, just the fluorescent light fixtures alone would eventually fade the guitar. Another Flying V. This one I bought from Stephen Stills. He used to record quite a bit. It's a pretty amazing guitar. They are virtually weightless for a guitar. They're very valuable. They're very cool. They made them in '58 and '59, but believe it or not, because they didn't sell, the last ones didn't leave the factory until '63. The same as the Explorer. This Les Paul custom, different than all others. It was called the Mickey Baker. There's a song that was done by a group called Mickey and Sylvia called Love Is Strange. It's in 1,000 movie soundtracks. Okay, this is Mickey Baker's guitar, made differently. You know the song. Okay, so you tell me a reaction. All right, that's it. And so we have here is 3 volume controls, instead of 2 volumes and 2 tones, instead of a 3-way switch, you have 1 master tone control. Now, it's incredible to me that Gibson would make a guitar like this special for a guy who had literally was a one-hit wonder, but I guess they would do that back then. These 2 Les Paul Customs made in '68 both have pretty cool stories, but the one that I choose to tell is the white one. The white one is called the Preacher. Within the guitar business, it's famous guitar, and it was literally made for a preacher of a Southern Baptist church, and made in white to match his all-white Sunday clothes, his Sunday suit. The problem is he went to lift it up out of the case, and he found that it weighed upwards of 14.5 pounds, which is very, very heavy. And if you put this on a guitar strap and you try to actually play for an hour, you would be in the hospital. So we put it back in the case, tried to return it back to Gibson. They said, no, you can't complain about the weight, and here it is. The gold one is just interesting because they just didn't make Les Paul Customs in gold, but there it is. The prototype for the thin line Telecaster later lost 1F-hole, I only 1F-hole on the bridge valve. The tailpiece is off a Fender Mustang. It's strictly testimonial parts guitar. The neck is off a Jazzmaster with block inlays, and the pickup is actually raised up off the surface of the guitar using surgical tubing as a cushion. Pretty interesting stuff. The Esquire here, the last guitar that I'm going to show you today, I'm sure you're all thankful, is a Desert Sand, just like the Stratocaster, and I'm fairly certain the reason why is, again, the guitar probably appeared on television. Pretty cool stuff. And that's it.